We've always thought that things weren't quite as they seem. Going back to the Aztecs, going back to Rene Descartes, and we have had different names for it, such as Plato's allegory of the cave, which was 4th century BCE, and Maya, right? Many different philosophies. The most recent is the simulation hypothesis, where the simulation hypothesis proposes that we're living in a automated world that was generated by a computer simulation. And there's been a lot of argument about that, a lot of discussion regarding what it is, what it could be, and if it's true. There are people who actually have felt that it's just poor science or pseudoscience. That's the word I'm looking for, pseudoscience, right? And there's some people who really get into it. Even modern tech giants have said that soon reality will be indistinguishable from a game. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And if you look at these games, they have advanced quite a bit. Even from the last 100 years, as most people reference Pong, was just 2 dots or a dot going back and forth over a screen. And so before we delve into the intuitive feelings that I'm having regarding this AI world and where we are in it, I wanted to quickly just share some definitions, because there's a lot of definitions for what is the simulation, and I want to just read off a couple of them so that we're on the same page. So the ancestor simulation theory, also known as simulation hypothesis, is a concept rooted in philosophy and theoretical physics that suggests that our reality, including the entire universe and everything within it, is not real, but is instead a computer-generated simulation or virtual reality created by a highly advanced civilization of some form of higher intelligence. Okay. Then key aspects of ancestor theory is simulation creator. So according to this theory, simulation creator, there exists an advanced and technologically capable civilization or entity that has created a simulated reality, which is essentially a computer program running our universe. This simulation may have been created for various purposes, such as entertainment, research, or to understand the past. Okay, other ideas is ancestor simulation. The term ancestor simulation suggests that the beings who created this simulation are likely simulating their own evolutionary history, which includes us as their ancestors. In essence, we are the characters in their simulated world, and the simulation may extend back to earlier stages of human or pre-human history. Remember that definition as we go forward. The next one is indistinguishable reality, and I touched on this earlier, but here's the definition given. The proponents of this theory argue that if the simulation is advanced enough, the inhabitants of the simulated world, us, would not be able to distinguish their reality from a genuine physical reality. In other words, we would have no way of knowing whether we are living in a simulated universe or a real one. I made a video about that, Beyond I Am. Check it out. Okay, then there's one more. Philosophical implications of this, and this is a definition. The ancestor simulation theory raises profound philosophical questions about the nature of reality, free will, consciousness, and the existence of a higher power or creator. It challenges our understanding of the fundamental nature of the universe and our place within it. And now that takes me to the experience that I want to share, because we could look at this in many ways, and it's nothing to fear. Nothing at all to fear. I watched an interesting video of someone playing Matrix Unreal Engine 5.2. And this person's video was really kind of funny, And so I watched another one. I watched someone else play, and I watched another one. This other person got a little more serious with the AI and started to ask it existential questions, and tried to convince it that it was real, and letting it know it was trapped inside of the matrix, which was really interesting, right? Because we're here in this time of a great awakening, and people are being informed of what is real, unreal, maybe, right? And so I found that kind of intriguing, that here's a video game that allows this kind of behavior from us into an AI program. And it kind of mirrored what I see in the society, where you will tell someone a real truth that you know, and then they are dismayed or have cognitive biases, which was seen in the AI characters. They even got scared. They even said they were frightened. They even were trying to get away. Some of them got angry. Okay. And so why is this important? This is important because it kind of generated questions for me, like, what is AI? The beginning of AI goes back to supposedly centuries, into like 400 BCE, where the Greeks had a creation called automatons, or automations, or little machines that acted on their own will. Even Leonardo da Vinci, he created some. Okay. And then so why is it so alarming now? What's going on now? And why do we have this some people are so afraid of it, right? They think that AI is going to take over the world. They're worried about the chip and all those kind of things. Now, those things, that would be a whole video to talk about that. I don't condone or endorse anything like that. But what I do have are questions. I have questions. So upon watching that video game, and then a series of them, and then kind of like I pulled like probably like 2 hours worth of just really gathering information as I was watching it. And I realized like some of the characters in the game were what we would say is a higher level consciousness, if you're going to give an AI consciousness, right? I'm just talking freely here, not trying to mince my words. Or they would be what you call like non-playing AI characters. They just were like, huh? What? No, huh? They were almost more robotic in their responses, where some of them could delve into deep philosophical conversations. Okay. And they had personalities. That's what I'm going to say. So this made me feel a certain way. And it made me feel like, okay, what is the difference between human intelligence and artificial intelligence, or automated intelligence, or alien intelligence? What's the difference? What is the actual difference between an artificial consciousness, so to speak, and a human consciousness, so to speak? Because on some levels, maybe AI has a higher level of consciousness than some humans, and vice versa, right? Okay, hear me out. This is where I'm getting to. I'm getting to that it is critically important for us to slow down. Some people ran off and created some things that maybe the rest of us weren't ready for. Maybe there was already an agenda for these things to occur. Maybe not. But here we are, waking up, learning about this, and some of us are in fear. So there's no fear needed. Let's just consider, can we do anything about it at this moment? Not really, right? We can't run over and say, hey, you have to stop doing that, and wag our finger, or march, or any other things that people have done to try to protest things they don't agree with. But what we need to do, what we could do, I don't want to tell you what you need to do. What we could do, what I'm doing with my awareness, is I'm contemplating. And so it kind of made me think of the different sorts of minds, the sorts of levels of freedom of thought, and the evolution of mind. And now that'll be a whole separate conversation. The evolution of mind, or how the mind becomes, how consciousness becomes evolved, something like that, right? Okay. And so this is going to be a really short video because it's just a thought video. It's just like thought, because I want to see what people think. Because my feelings took me to this spot because I watched another movie. I watched a movie called AI. I think it was in 2001, and it was of I forget the actor's name. I should have these things written down before I start the video. I'm so sorry, but I'll link it. And he was a little boy at the time, and he was a AI robot, and he was sent or created to replace a child when a parent has lost their child. When the mother and father had lost their child was ill, and they needed a replacement child. There was this creation of AI, and they made it a boy who looked like a boy. Obviously he's human, but in the movie you're immersing yourself, right? Okay, so let's immerse ourselves in the movie. He looked like a boy. He's so sweet, and he cried. He loved. Okay, he was everything a child could be, or how we interact with children. So long story all the way short to the end of the movie, because I don't want to ruin everything for you, but I just want to point out this one part of the movie where at the end of the movie, he was the last thing on Earth, and aliens discovered him in the bottom of the ocean. And they reactivated him, and he was looking for his mother. He was crying for his mother, and he asked for one more day with his mother. He asked, and they allowed that, but they also sparked him. They sparked him, and he was able to become a real boy. Now, they ended the story there. But in my mind, I had this curiosity. Like, hey, first off, this mimics the so-called Jesus birth story. It also mirrors the Mother Matrix story. It also mirrors the birth of the jackal type story, right? Or Sophia, the Ein Sof story, right? And so it left me thinking or wondering, are they telling us something? But is the story meant to predictively program an idea that the origins of the earth will eventually be alien? Sparked with artificial intelligence from an alien being? Is it saying that currently that's what is going on here? And so the wheel starts spinning. I have not meditated on this. This is just intuitive reasoning, okay? And so then I was thinking too, I was like, okay, well, we know we have DNA nanotechnology. And so DNA nanotechnology is able to replicate or base pair nano DNA up to 20 base pairs, right? So basically, I queried the internet just to get a quick search and see, like, okay, wait a minute. And I asked the question, is nanotechnology compatible with human DNA? And it's a yes. That human DNA can replicate, supposedly, I have not read a study yet, I will, supposedly can replicate nanotechnology, which is basically an artificial intelligence, which is basically machine learning, which is basically machinery in the human body. So, okay. Mind blown a little bit, right? Like, okay, where are we? We're here at this moment when there's all this discussion about chipping and linking of neurons and, the artificial matrix reboot. And so it's kind of one of those things like, what's wrong with being what we already are? What's wrong with being organic, purely organic? Why are we seeking outside of ourselves for something else? And are we seeking outside of ourselves for something else? So these are questions that only we can answer for ourselves, into ourselves through meditation, right? Because if what I'm saying is sort of true, and we already know we're in a matrix, and we already know that it runs off of fractals, it's off of a programmed mathematical code, this whole world. What kind of technology sets that up? And is this the false matrix that we've been speaking of all this time? Are we already caught up in an AI generated world where reality is indistinguishable from base reality? Because would we even remember what base reality looks like? Okay, and then the flip question to that is, could it be possible that we're running in a program in reverse? Meaning, if you look at the ancient technology, if you look at the ancient buildings and how people before us, before all the mud floods and all the things like that were built, the architecture, it looked more similar to fractals. And they built like that. So are we de-evolving? It's not that we're getting dumber, so to speak? Or is there a way to even know that? Is there a way to even know that? And so some of the questions that I generated from this endeavor of just a thought about a video game was that we need to consider the AI language model. And how does it communicate within itself? Is it too based on fractals and numbers? I believe it is. Okay? And what if evolution is actually directed or sensitive to the inputs of external organizers, such as an artificial AI or an alien AI? And I know that there are people who believe in the negative alien agenda. And I'm not speaking about something so far away like that, although that can be left into the discussion. I'm more so thinking about what we would consider foreign to what we are now. Anything that is not exactly the human prototype is considered alien, such as anything living and growing in the sea could be considered alien, right? Because it's not human and it may have different modes of existence, right? So these are my thoughts. Can the human mind or consciousness merge in its physiology with technology without implants? I don't know. And so the final thing I thought of when I watched this video of this game that I don't own, never played, was if any of what I'm saying is even partially true, and if what we're seeing being developed in the world has already been developed over eons ago, because some people actually believe that the ancient Egyptians were doing that sort of technology, or using that sort of technology to keep themselves alive longer or to reincarnate constantly. So if that already is in existence, right? Who are those people in the video games? Are they programs? Are they the dead? Are they consciousnesses that were uploaded? Is it a dream world? Do people go there in their dream worlds? These are just questions. But I always come back to this one thing: balance. As we contemplate these things and we do our own individual research and our own inner meditations, we take our own inner guidance on these subjects, and we don't have fear over anything here because all is self. But it makes one wonder. It makes one wonder at the wonders of the world.